So, today I'm going to talk to you about how this tool can help you figure out what to do with your time and how boredom can help you figure out how to use your time more purposefully. And sometimes when you feel bored, you might do things like scroll on social media, or you might do the distracting things. And a lot of times you do these things because you don't want to feel bored. Bored is a painful experience sometimes, and it's like a feeling that we want to avoid a lot of times. That's what drives us to do these distractions. So if we can actually figure out how to be bored and embrace the boredom, then it's pretty like powerful feeling. It's more you know what to do with your time, if that makes sense. And I'm realizing this more as I quit my full-time job and I have more time on my hands. I'm just being honest. I do have a lot more time on my hands. And so when you have this feeling of like, I have time, it's like, what do I do with my time? And I know that if I spend my time on social media and I spend my time watching TV and I spend my time eating junk food. I mean, it's a way to spend my time, but the moment I get off these things, the moment I get off social media, the moment I get off the junk food, the moment I stop watching Netflix, I get back to this feeling of boredom. So if you if you don't do the highly stimulating things, then what do you do with your time? It's like if we can make these rules for ourselves, I'm not going to do the highly stimulating activities. I'm not going to watch the Netflix. I'm not going to eat the junk food. I'm not going to lay around. If we can sort of make these rules and you have time on your hands, then you're left with like, what the hell do I do? That's when your creative side comes out. That's when you want to like start doing something purposeful and do things that you start to enjoy. For example, you can read. You can read a lot if you have a decent amount of time on your hands and you know that you're not going to do the highly stimulating activities, then you can read and you can use that time to learn. And like just think about the wealth of knowledge that you're going to gain if you just make a habit of spending your free time on reading as opposed to these highly stimulating things. Another thing is you can, the key is to figure out like what activities can you start doing in your within this time. Like say I gave you a full day and you had the choice to do whatever you wanted with this day, but you couldn't watch Netflix. You couldn't turn on the TV. You couldn't scroll through your phone. You couldn't lay around. What are you going to fill your time up with? That's the like good thing about boredom is that it kind of forces you to do something. And there's two good things about boredom. The first one is that you can start to accept the present moment a little bit more. You can start to realize that these like thoughts like, oh, I have to do this, I have to do this, I have to do this. Well, why do you have to do it? Is it because you're just trying to escape this boredom? So you develop a better relationship with boredom itself in the present moment. That's the good thing about boredom. Another good thing is that when you realize these distractions and you realize you were doing a lot of this shit just to distract yourself, you can consciously choose what activities you actually think are purposeful. Like I said, you can read, you can start writing, developing that skill. You can get better at a sport, you can learn an instrument and do things that you actually enjoy. For me, if I set these rules for myself, I'm not going to scroll through social media. I'm not going to watch a bunch of content today. I'm not going to lay around and watch TV. And I have a full day ahead of myself. It's like, what do I do then? If I can't do these things to distract myself, what can I do? Well, I can first develop a better relationship with the present moment, and then also I can start to do more purposeful things. And when I say purposeful, I mean like things that I'm choosing to do, like make this YouTube video. I'm choosing to do this. I'm not doing this out of a place of like, oh, I have to do this. If I don't do this, then this will happen. No, I'm making the choice to do this because I enjoy doing this. Same thing with like if I chose to write, I'm making the choice to write because I enjoy doing it. So if we can learn the skill of like accepting boredom and having a better relationship with like boredom, then we'll stop doing these random things. You realize that a lot of things you're doing are just random. Like like hopping in your car and just like driving around. It's because you want to get away. And the reason you want to get away is because you don't have a good relationship with boredom and the present moment. So if we can first start to develop a better relationship with boredom, then the things that we do are more purposeful and conscious, and we start to enjoy it a little bit more. So you can use boredom as a tool, and with it, like you can really understand that a lot of the things you've been doing have been because you're trying to get away from boredom. You pulled out your phone because you didn't like that feeling of a little tiny bit of boredom. You hopped in your car and took a ride because you didn't want to be here in the present moment. So, yeah, that's my talk for the day. And we can use boredom as a tool to, first of all, like build a better relationship with the present moment. And then also, you can realize that a lot of the things you were doing were just trying to distract yourself. And when we gain that understanding, we can start to consciously choose things that will actually provide enjoyment. We can be in the place of like choosing what we want to do with our time, not letting these distractions dictate what we're going to do. So hopefully that makes sense. And if you got some value, hit that like and subscribe button. And I actually just started a new free community where we can learn a little bit more about like maximizing our time and having a little bit more control over it. So it's also a place where you can network with like-minded, ambitious young men and people who are like driven. So if you're interested, click on that link in the description and hope to see you soon. Thanks for watching.